Pompeo, first of all, thank you for your career of public service. I want to thank your family, because this clearly is going to be a family sacrifice, already has been, but will even be more deeply felt by your family. So we very much appreciate all that. I want to follow up on the chairman's opening comments about the need for the Secretary of State to be a strong, independent voice in the White House, particularly in this White House. And with the President's announced policy of America First, which has been interpreted globally as America Alone, which is your mission, if you're confirmed, to use diplomacy to engage the international community. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I would ask that you give your views, not the President's. I want to know your views. Secondly, I would hope that you would briefly answer the questions, because I have a lot of questions I want to answer. Please respect the time restrictions that we're operating under. And let me start first, if I might, with the Iran nuclear agreement that's been referred to. There's no question that Iran's the bad actor here, and they continue to be a bad actor. And this Congress, with your help, we passed very strong legislation to provide additional sanctions against Iran for its non-nuclear violations, including its ballistic missiles. And we want strict enforcement of the nuclear agreement. But it is clear from what the President has announced that he wants to see changes in the nuclear agreement. It's also been very clear that Europe has said pretty directly we cannot unilaterally, the West, modify the agreement, and that Iran's in compliance with the agreement. General Dumford has said unless there is a material breach, we have an impact in others' willingness to sign the agreement, sign other agreements if we pull out of this agreement, with reference to North Korea, the challenges of entering into diplomacy. So my direct question, if the President determines that you cannot modify this agreement and Iran is in compliance, what is your view as to whether America should withdraw unilaterally from the Iran nuclear agreement?
Senator, I know clearly what my mission is going to be. The President's made very clear what the Secretary of State's mission has been, and I expect change to that.
And I didn't ask. I asked what's your views.
Yes, Senator,
I understand that. And
yeah.
We've had nominees come before this committee and express their views,
yes,
and are doing very well in this administration, and have disagreed with the President,
yes,
and the President gets the last word. I understand that. I want to know your views.
I've done it many times, Senator. I can't answer that question. Here's why. But let me tell you how I approach it. Let me tell you how I think about it. Here's how I want to tell you, if you let me tell you how I think about it, then you can. I want to fix this deal. That's the objective. I think that's in the best interest of the United States.
But if the agreement cannot be changed, my question is pretty simple. We're running very close to a deadline on certification. What is your view? Is it better to pull out of an agreement that Iran is in compliance with if we can't fix it, or is it better to stay in the agreement? As the
Senator,
yes or no?
No, Senator, it's not a yes or no question because it's a hypothetical. We're not at that point. Let me tell you.
The President has to certify on May the 12th.
Yes, sir. That's yet almost a month away. It depends clearly. If we're close, imagine just as a hypothetical matter, imagine we're close to achieving the fix that the President has asked the State Department to achieve. If we're close, if there's some opportunity,
you pull out
in the event that we conclude that we can't fix this deal, that these serious shortcomings that you, Senator Cardin, yourself have identified, then the President is going to be given best advice, including by me. And if there's no chance that we can fix it, I will recommend to the President that we do our level best to work with our allies to achieve a better outcome and a better deal. Even after May 12th, Senator. Even after May 12th, there's still much diplomatic work to be done.
I think you've answered the question. Let me.
Senator, just to be clear, more than just Europe.
You've been pretty clear about the outcome you would like to see in North Korea, which I believe, I'm misstating it, please let me know, which is regime change. Is that
Senator, you have misstated that.
Okay. Are you in favor of regime change in North Korea?
Senator, my mission is, and I've articulated my own personal views on this, we have a responsibility to achieve a condition where Kim Jong-un is unable to threaten the United States of America with a nuclear weapon.
I understand that. So are you saying now you don't favor regime change?
Senator, I have never advocated for regime change. I have all along.
It's a simple question. So you don't believe.
I'm happy to answer today that I'm not advocating for regime change. Yes, Senator.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to get that clear. Let me go on to.
And Senator, just to be clear, my role as a diplomat is to make sure that we never get to a place where we have to confront the difficult situation in Korea that this country has been headed for now for a couple of decades.
So let me get to the international climate talks and agreements that were entered into in Paris. The fact that every nation in the world has now joined in that. This is, as I explained to you, as we talked in our office, as you understand, these are self-imposed goals and enforced only by ourselves. The President has indicated his intentions to withdraw from the international agreement. It takes a period of time before it becomes effective, but he's already initiated the process. If it in fact takes place, we'd be the only country that is not part of the agreement. Do you support the United States withdrawing from the climate agreements?
I share the President's position precisely, which is that the Paris agreements put an undue burden on the United States of America, and that we should work to find a place where that is not the case. And when that moment arrives, we will be part of that discussion and re-enter that agreement.
So you stand by your...
That is both my view, and I believe I'm speaking for the
So
administration.
you believe self-imposed requirements work with the international community. I think I'm quoting you accurately as dangerously wrong, bows down to radical environmentalists, and the science is inconclusive. You stand by those statements today?
Senator, we need to work to arrange a situation that treats American citizens in the same way that others around the world, so there is a shared burden to attack this challenge.
Do you see the challenge that's going to make your job, if confirmed, more challenging? Where your job is to work with the international community, our friends and foes alike, to try to get diplomacy to work, and yet the United States would be the only country saying we don't want to talk to you about climate under the arrangements that every other country is dealing with. You don't see a conflict with that position and trying to be the top diplomat of America, the leader of the world?
Senator, there are many times that we work with our allies, and there are many other times when we just don't see it the same way. I give you many indications, many examples of where this administration has worked with those same allies. Just recently, the work that we did against Russia. In response to the attack that took place in Britain, we worked with our European allies. We did so very closely. This would be after the President's announcement that he intended to withdraw from Paris. So it can still work. I'll give you another example. The coalition that this administration has built to put pressure on Kim Jong-un is unique and historic and important. So there'll be places that our allies come alongside us and others that they don't. My task as the chief diplomat will be to get America's position well known and to rally the world to the causes that benefit America. I look forward to doing that if I'm confirmed as well, Senator.
Thank you.
Before I turn to Senator Rubio, I'm going to use 30 seconds of my time. Just on the Iran issue, it's my sense